everybody, this is JDGaming back today with actually an opening of Phantom Rage. Now I actually bought a case of this, but we're just going to open one of the boxes for right now, and then I'll do a tally at the end of the video just because, I don't know, personally everyone's opening these I think, so we'll just go ahead and do this and then kind of show what you end up getting in a full case of this product. Nothing too special with this box on the outside, I guess. We ran through all the outer edges. We don't have like different card arts on the sides like we did on the classic boosters. This is just pretty typical for modern Yu-Gi-Oh here, but this is a very exciting set. This actually is the technically third case I've ever purchased, second one I've ever opened. I bought Breakers of Shadow way back when, but since they were changing, like you get a foil in every pack and stuff, I was kind of afraid back then. I was still in college at that point, didn't want to burn my money if I didn't have to, and with it being a gamble, I ended up just saying, no, let's not open that up. We're just going to go ahead and sell it as a sealed case. And then recently I bought Rise of the Duelist. It was when I was very busy with work, and so I never ended up really having a chance to, you know, show it on camera or talk about it, but starting off with Virtual World Gate, I don't know how to pronounce that. Chuche? I don't know. It's like Chinese or something, I think, originally. So I'm not exactly sure. It's not actually Japanese. But anyway, yeah, we'll just go through Infernity Suppression and stuff. Phantom Knights of Stained Greaves, and then Ranseryu. But yeah, I honestly wanted to do kind of like a talk about my experience with Rise of the Duelist. That was an amazing set. You guys know I love Dogmatica Invoked and such, but I never really had a chance to talk about it because it was just a crazy time at work. That was right before I quit my job, the month leading up to it. Nice, we got Dogmatica Asian, not Asian, but ultra rare right there, so we'll place that here for now. And yeah, it was just a missed opportunity, I think, but it was a very fun set to open. My thumbs honestly got very tired opening it. It took probably a solid hour at least, maybe 2, to open that thing. I wasn't in any rush or anything, obviously, with it not being a video, but it was the first time actually opening a set like that, and it was just hard. Like, so that's part of the reason why I don't want to go and do. This card's artwork is very beautiful, even though it's a common. But yeah, I just didn't want to do this on camera for the whole case because it's just too tiring. Perfect Sync. It looks like, or A-un, if you're American. Jack in the Hand, Dual Avatar Return, Cupid 4, this is like a continuation of, I guess, Cupid Archer and stuff. Cupid Volley, I think, might be another one. But yeah, it was a good time. I ended up pulling a Starlight Rare Gaia out of that one case, and since it's like 1 and 2, not bad. Dogmaticism. This is actually a very interesting artwork for the lore. It shows our Ecclesia is getting her mark, I forget the name of that, but her mark removed kind of in retaliation for helping Albaz here. So very cool stuff, kind of like a World Chalice in the way they have the lure. Conductor of Nephthys, I did not know this was a support that we were getting in this set, so that's pretty cool. Going into it fairly blind. Obviously I've heard of like the major cards, I know what like the main, foils are and stuff. Mutant Fusion. I do like mutants, I will say. I've been playing a lot of fusion-based archetypes, as you can see, and the fact that they're psychics at their core is pretty cool, so maybe we'll try seeing if we can pull and play mutants sometime soon. Banquet of Millions. I like the name of this. It's obviously a play on Eater of Millions, and is it worth permanently mutilating your own extra deck just to temporarily stop your opponent? Who knows? People are playing Extravagance, so maybe. This is like the baby version of that Crocodragon, which is kind of cool. Virtual World City, Kowloon, it looks like. So that looks a lot more like a Chinese thing you'd see at like a restaurant or something. Not as like a, form of being insensitive, but just like, where you guys may have seen that kind of a term. It at least sounds like it. As an Asian person myself, I have a background. My family's all from South Korea, except my brother and myself. I can kind of tell the differences between the major languages, at least, even if I can't speak them. We have Raid Raptor's Phantom Knight's Claw as our super here. But yeah, you can kind of just tell, like, like the repetitive kind of syllables, that kind of thing is pretty characteristic. Generally, we've seen it in like Chinese versus in Japanese or in Korean. I've kind of talked about the language differences a little bit on some of the videos about the OCG opening, so it's just interesting to see that we're getting something based on potentially Chinese mythology. I haven't really looked into it. Dual Avatar Fists, Armored Ayo. So I'm not sure. This is obviously an Asian name, but I'm not sure if this is supposed to be Japanese or Chinese there. But still interesting. Mutant Fusion. That's actually a pretty adorable artwork there for hires there. And Jack in the Hand's an interesting spell. It says reveal 3 level 1 monsters with different names from your deck. Your opponent adds 1 to their hand, and then you add 1 to your hand, and then shuffle the 3rd into the deck. So pretty unique way of doing stuff. Infernity Conjurer, this looks totally like that, the guy from the graveyard, or the guy can't be summoned from the graveyard, I forget, Mirage, I think. It's been a while since I played against Infernities there. Mutant ST46, nice ultra rare there, and this is a Psychic level 3 monster. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 mutant spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You contribute this card, then banish 1 card from your hand, or face a field, special summon 1 monster from your hand or deck based on the banished card. If it's a monster, a mutant beast. If it's a spell, mutant mist, or trap, mutant arsenal. You can only use each of these effects once per turn. So pretty cool. There we got our 2 ultra rares for that side. And actually, I guess that brings up an interesting point. First time I'm talking about it on this channel, but now that we have, since Rise of the Duelist especially, the boxes are basically mapped in a way where, like, if we went through and kept the same layout on these packs on the right side, we'd end up with pretty much the same, like, ultras in the same locations, secrets the same way, and I don't know, like, at least this is the first time I'm opening this set, obviously. Nice, we got Mutant Synthesis, our super rare fusion monsters. We'll take a look at the, recap of everything at the very end, of course, just to see. But it's kind of unfortunate that Rise of the Duelist was totally mapped. So what I ended up doing with my case is after like a box or two, realizing, okay, this is a pattern, I just started shuffling up all my packs just for fun. Xyz Import's a common, that's actually interesting. So we ended up getting a secret rare preview, and now it's available as a common as well as a Korra card. We have Dual Avatar Fists Yuhi, which is kind of funny because Yugi's name is Yuhi in some languages. I think it is in Korean at least. This is interesting. A plant synchro monster I've never seen before. Generic level 7 looks like. Gains 400 attack for each plant you control except this. During your main phase, you can special summon a level 5 or higher plant from your hand or graveyard in defense position, except a copy of this. You can only use this effect once per turn. That's kind of interesting considering it is a level 7. If like the Flower Princesses weren't level 8, that could be more interesting. Rika, I'm thinking off the top of my head, are level 7 or level 6, sorry, for like Mudan and stuff, or 8 for Hellebore. So can this be used? Maybe sometime in the future. I just can't think of something off the top of my head, but it is interesting that you just bring out a synchro and then can Xyz with it, I guess. Free range monsters is kind of funny. During the main phase, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon or set 1 monster. But you can see like Samurai Skull assaulting that goblin, I think from Trap Hole is what that guy is. Not normal Trap Hole, but like one of the Trap Holes, like the other variants, the one. We still have to pull a secret rare on this side if things are normal, because you get 2 secrets and 4 ultras per box. So we'll see if maybe this pack or the next one. Yeah, we got Warning Point, secret rare trap card. We've gotten worse pulls before. When a monster is summoned that turn, this face-up monster cannot attack, its effects are negated, and it cannot be used as material for a fusion, synchro, Xyz, or link summon. Now, this is a fun card in that sense. Like, if it goes off, it is really good. But the problem is the if. Why would you play this card that can't be used unless your opponent does something? Like, it really has to be worth it. I think you can get a lot more value out of the cards, out of a single card these days. So, yeah, there's some cool things going on with it. It is a, trap trick target with it being a normal trap and such. I just think it's too passive. I honestly feel even things like Torrential Tribute, it's not an issue of it being not powerful with a board wipe, it's just not proactive enough. And so I'd rather play something like Needle Sealing these days in trap tricks and such. So Warning Point, I don't know, is it bad? Not exactly, like the effect is good, but how viable is it? Not as much as you would think, unfortunately, is what I'm thinking on that. So interesting card, just not something I would rely on too much. Infernoble Knight Captain Oliver as our super rare synchro monster, and yeah, there we go. So we ended up getting pretty solid on the left side here. I mean, like, these are all cards that are like people are thinking about, at least. We got Mutants, we got Dogmatica, and Warning Point. I mean, some people love it, some people hate it. I'm kind of on the side of, like, it's meh. It's not bad. It's just not really worth it right now. But who knows? Maybe, like, it could definitely be something where, like, in a certain metagame, people are playing a combo where this is, like, always useful, and then that might make it more useful. But again, if you go second, then it sucks, right? Virtual World Hime, which means princess in Japanese. Nyan Nyan, which is, like, I guess that's more of a Japanese name there, so that's kind of interesting. Perhaps my understanding of this archetype is not as complete as I thought. I mean, it's just from what I've seen in leaks and stuff and just like general knowledge outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, it kind of interesting there. On to the next pack here, and we got another mutant guy. We got dual avatar empowered Kongyo as our fusion monster. It's kind of interesting. Dual avatar fists Yuhi, we talked about before, plus two dual avatar monsters for 3017. If this card battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. If this attacks after damage calculation, you can return one of your opponent's monsters to the hand. Doesn't look like it targets or anything, so that's pretty cool. When your opponent's spell or trap effect is activated that targets this card on the field while you control 2 or more fusion monsters. Quick effect, you can negate the activation. You can only use each effect of, or this effect of Kongyo once per turn. Interesting card. I honestly don't know anything about the dual avatar monsters, so it's kind of cool to see them for the first time here. And I did say I totally forgot. I'm going to shuffle up these packs here real quick because that way we end up with a bit more of a surprise, right? I don't know if this is mapped or not. If I think about it, I'll mention at the end of the video based on the cases, the other boxes I opened in the case. But yeah, Virtual World Dragon Long. That's actually kind of cool because this is one of those, I believe this is one of those OCG kind of exclusive things they got in like a promo box, and we're getting this as an import, which is very cool. They're monsters I kind of wanted to play around with in my Psychic deck. Is that deck good nowadays? Heck no, honestly. Like, let's be honest, it's not. But I still like playing it. It's just like a fun pet deck. It's like people like playing old decks for fun, even if they're not competitive. Psychics is that for me. So I just really like the idea that these guys got support. Dual Avatar Feet, Armored Ungyo. That's kind of cool. It's like a weird falcon kick type of thing going on there with like a something like a blue tiger beast thing. I'm not exactly sure, but it looks really cool. Charge into a Dark World. It's a Dark World spell. Target one level 4 or lower fiend in your graveyard. Special summon it, then discard a fiend monster as part of this effect. You can only activate once per turn. This is actually pretty cool. Would have been interesting to use. It is, I think, I don't remember what I just read, you know, reading comprehension, but level 4 or lower, so it's kind of restrictive in that sense, but discarding a card from your hand with an effect is not bad for that deck. We got Virtual World Roshi, Master Roshi, Lao Lao, that definitely sounds more Chinese than Japanese. Psychic Tuner effect. I think they're all psychics and worms. That's interesting. We got another Petalis, or Perialis rather. Jabbing Panda. I saw this card earlier, but this is kind of interesting in artwork. I like that artwork. It's kind of funny. He looks kind of mad. He's punching fish. It's like that Unisonus video, fighting against the fish in the deep blue sea. We got Mutant Arsenal as our big level 8 guy. That's the Arsenal monster you could summon with that previously mentioned card. We got another Lily, and yeah, so far, I mean, it's like, this is also why I don't like doing a huge case opening on camera. It's like, you get repetitive. Even within this one box, we're already getting stuff that's kind of like lame. Mutant Evolution Lab. Now, this is a very good field spell for the theme. Ultra rare. When this card is activated, you could special summon one of your level 4 or lower mutant monsters from your hand, or that is banished. So, could either just accelerate your strategy, or if you have something banished already, just straight up get advantage off of it that way. Mutant monsters you control gain 100 attack for each of your banished mutant cards with different names, and that's including spells and traps. And once per turn during your main phase, you could place one mutant monster from your hand on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, draw one card. So nice consistency built in there, and you can only activate one of these field spells per turn. It's kind of interesting that a lot of these fusions, or not fusions, sorry, all the field spells related to psychics tend to be like this brain research lab, mutant evolution lab. It's like they're creating something odd with these psychics, as if they're not natural, you know? We got Mutant Mist. Here's another one of those big guys. But we still have a secret rare slot available for us here, and who knows? I mean, it could be a Starlight rare. Is it even going to happen in the entire case I do? It's a coin toss there. But yeah, we'll see what ends up happening on camera. We got Dual Avatar Invitation. This card reminds me very much of like a Mayakashi card, so it's kind of cool in artwork. I like it for that, if nothing else. Discard one card, and if you do, special summon as many Dual Avatar Spirit tokens as possible that are Warrior level 2 light monsters with no attack and defense. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except fusion monsters, and all tokens you control cannot be tributed or destroyed during the... Wait, what? Cannot be tributed and are destroyed, there we go, at the end phase. After summoning these tokens, you can apply this effect up to twice per turn. Fusion summon a dual avatar fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, so I'm guessing you're supposed to use those tokens for that. You can only activate one dual avatar invitation per turn. Interesting spell. This card, I feel like this is a bad secret just looking at it, because it's like it hinges on whether or not this archetype is good and whether or not this card is going to be valuable and, like, you know, actually worth it for me to have pulled. But in terms of a card design perspective, I think this is kind of neat where, like, you spawn tokens and then have them available for fusion materials. Plus, it is a fusion spell in a weird way too, because it lets you go and perform that action. So it's interesting, right? Like, interesting may be a synonym for not really good in Yu-Gi-Oh! These days, but I do think it is kind of interesting. I want to look at this and see, you know, maybe it's a fun thing to play around with. Who knows? Kind of cool. Hinazumi Hanabi. This is like the firecracker chipmunk or something. That's kind of interesting. This card's effect, I'll read it. It's funny, I read this before. Cannot be used as material for any summon, basically, from the extra deck. If this card is normal or special summoned, place 6 counters on it, which is like, you know, pips on a die. And then it says, once per turn, if the control of this face-up card changes with a counter, roll a die and remove that many counters, up to the result. And if all the counters on this are removed by this effect, destroy it, and then the controller takes 2,000 damage. So this is literally a game of hot potato with your opponent, where you just roll a die and then just keep taking away tokens. This is just a really funny designed card. Is it good? No. Like, if you're playing this, you're crazy. It is a 2,000 attack level 4, but, like, you know, you don't play it for that. You play it for the memes, right? This is a good meme card, kind of like Yajiro Invader. We got Tri-Brigade Karas, which is a kind of an interesting looking, like, buffalo dude. That's kind of interesting there. And we got Infernity Suppression, Infernity Paranoia, Infernity Wildcat, Dual Avatar Return. So lots of Infernity cards there. 2 packs left. This is another problem with these boxes, I think, is the fact that right now, unless we get, like, stupid lucky and gain a 5th Ultra or a 3rd Secret, or like a random Starlight that did not replace a Secret for some reason, we have nothing else to look forward to in this box by normal accounts. On average, so it's kind of unfortunate there. Infernity Doom Archfiend, cool looking synchro. I guess they just called it Doom instead of Hell, which might be consistent with what they did with Infernity Doom Dragon, if I'm not mistaken. But kind of interesting. Like, it's an interesting looking card. My brother plays Infernities every time a new mechanic's released, and he looked at these cards and thought, for the most part, like, Doom Archfiend is not something you'd really want to play, probably. At least the way he likes to play them. So, oh, sweet! I didn't know this was a super. This is a card I've been wanting just for my Psychic deck, honestly, like classic Banished Psychics. Virtual World Beast Juju, so ending on a good note here. Level 6 generic Psychic Synchro monster with 2,400 attack, 17 defense, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while you have 2 or more monsters in your graveyard with the same original type and attribute. So in Earth Psychics, you're basically playing Earth and Psychics, but with different names, of course. You can banish 2 of those types of monsters with the same type and attribute, but with different names, to target 1 card on the field and just send it to the graveyard. So targeting's not good, but sending to the grave, that is very good. And the fact that this guy's invincible and it's a psychic monster you can keep bringing back with Cleric, this is just like, this is what I've been wanting. Like, if this came out like 5 years ago, oh my god, that would have been insane. Unfortunately, of course, this is just super because it's like a, you know, it's interesting for Virtual Worlds. It's interesting for Psychics. Is it good? No. Interesting means, you know, kind of interesting. That's all it is. But I'm very happy that this card was printed in the TCG. You know, it took like a year or so, but we finally got it, which is nice. 1 or 8. That looks like a Woodborg Impachi, or just a regular Impachi fighting with Charcoal Impachi before he gets burned out, because he's like the cedar color. Or I guess it's right before Blazing Impachi. If that lore holds, man, those are old cards here. So that's what we got out of this one box, but I'll be back in just a bit with a recap of everything that I pulled out of a case. Alright, and we're back here. So the reason we still have these 3 boxes here is of a video that I'm putting in the top right hand corner. Basically, never buy loose packs again, unless they're blisters, which you could also argue you don't want to buy blisters anyway, because you're not guaranteed anything, because we basically got all the foils we expected out of this pack, except the supers, like the ultras and secrets we wanted, we needed, we got, without even opening all the packs, because of thing I'll talk about in that other video. It's worse than mapping. Like, you could tell where in the boxes all these foils are, which is just absolutely absurd and kind of disappointing. But we'll go ahead and do all the ultras. So for Dogmatica Asian, not Asian, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have Armityle the Chaos Phantasm, Phantom of Fury, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of him. For Dual Avatar Empowered Kongyo, we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then same with Brigrand the Glory Dragon, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have Virtual World Phoenix Fun, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Raiders Knight, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then Raiders Wing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have Mutant M5, just 3 of those. And then we have 3 of the ST46 and 3 of the Mutant Evolution Lab. So I actually did pull all the mutants I need to build the deck, which is kind of cool. So I'll probably do that. We have Tri-Brigade Fractal, 1, 2, 3, and only 2 copies of the Blossom, unfortunately, of Farigit, so kind of unfortunate there, and 2 copies of Lulu, so I'll have to pick one up before I can even look at Virtual Worlds, and 2 copies of Rank Up Magic, what is it, Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Force. So that's all 48 of our Ultras, and again, like, we still have 3 boxes worth of Supers that were not even touched because I'm going to open them later off camera. There's no point in showing anything with them because we already know there's no foils in those. If by chance there was a bonus in there, I'll go ahead and show that, but I'm not thinking that's going to happen. For our secret rares, now we should have 24 of these. We have Warning Point 1, 2, 3, 4, and that makes me cry. We have Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon 1, 2, 3. We have Tri-Brigade Shurag, the Ominous Omen 1, 2, 3. We have Mutant Ultimus 1, 2, 3. We have the Torn Scales Phantom Knights 1, 2, 3. We have Tri-Brigade Airborne Assault 1, 2 of those. Virtual World QB we have 1, 2. We have Alpha the Master of Beasts 1, 2. I got ripped off apparently because I got 1 Zeus, which is kind of sad. In a case, I mean, you win some, you lose some. And then that dual avatar we pulled in that box on camera was actually the only one of that we got. But I don't know, like overall, it was an interesting case experience. This is definitely a lot more of a letdown compared to the first time where it was kind of a bit of wonder when I opened my first actual case off camera with the Rise of the Duelist. And now this time I'm like, wow, all the worst parts of the last time are kind of continuing here. But I don't know, maybe this was just my case. I've heard some things initially, at least, that some people's boxes weren't like this. But if you have boxes, if you have cases, or if you've seen some things, definitely let me know and watch that video that I linked in the top right-hand corner. You never want to buy loose packs ever again if this is how they're going to do it, because again, you just can't trust them. You can literally tell which packs in every box have the foils, as I demonstrate in that video. It's just ridiculous. So hopefully I'm wrong. I really hope it's the case, or if I am right, then hopefully they change that so that it's not like that starting in the next set with Blazing Vortex, because I don't want metal foes to disappoint me any more than they already kind of have. So we'll have to go ahead and hope for the best with the next set. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of experience here. Let me know what you think down below. This is JDGaming, and I'll see you guys next time. That's it for now, but feel free to grab one of these videos on your way out. If you really enjoyed what you saw today, remember to subscribe to JDGaming for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Thanks guys, this is JDGaming. Hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I'll see you guys next time.